Hello and welcome back to 2048. Tired of being lectured on the subject of nutrition and all things related? Too bad, it's gonna continue. Because I'm tired and I want to take out my pain on you. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Well, on to something a little different, actually. Because I think we've probably told you everything I need to tell you about the sugar content of Splenda. Now it's time to go on to, and told you probably that most, and you can look at the ingredients of other artificial sweeteners, like Equal, Sweet and Low. Equal, I think, still uses aspartame. That's just disgusting. Ew, gross. That's nasty, man. But anyway, Equal. But I'm getting rid of you. I don't want to see you anymore. I'm sorry. We've seen it enough. Oh, come on! So Equal is, all right. Well, you can look on any artificial sweetener you get. In fact, you should look on any sweetener that you're using. In fact, really, let's just be honest. You should probably look at the ingredients to anything you're getting. Seriously, it's important. Maybe. If it's okay, then I guess it's not important. But otherwise, if it's not okay, then it is important. And in that case, ignorance of the ingredients is bad. Don't want that. So yeah, ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is deadly. Okay? Alright, I'm glad we could get that over with. And, Oh, look at you! Nice! Alright, so. Wow, man, I lost my roll. I was on a roll. I just fell off of my roll. Oh, man. Right. So, I'm sorry, this is just a little intense, just what's going on the board. It's starting to get a little complicated. Let me save, just in case. Okay. Where were we? I'm actually starting to forget now. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, so you probably understand that artificial sweeteners are bad. So, what do people usually do when they think artificial sweeteners are bad? Natural sweeteners, but now you're not going to go for sweet, wholesome, nutritious agave nectar, or honey, or blackstrap molasses. No, you simply will not be bothered to have some maple syrup, all highly nutritious in their own right, not bad nutrient densities, and full of minerals which are very good for you. You simply will not have that. Fine, be that way. Well, not really that nutritional dense. It's got minerals in it that's good for you. And it's got a lot more healthy things than Splenda does. But then there's something else, which has some nutrients as well. Well, I mean, it did until you ripped everything out of it. Stevia. But then, if you get a packet of stevia, is it really a packet of stevia? You've got a packet of stevia extract. Now, I have heard that there's a bit of, I have heard that there's, at Trader Joe's, a packet of real, actual, pure stevia that is not extracted, or maybe if it is extracted, at least it's pure extract and nothing added to it. And I might be interested in checking that out. For a friend, of course. I don't need it. I'm not fat. Me diet? Me need to diet? No. Totally not. Yes. No, not me. This way, somebody else. Anyway, but I am going to check that out. So, but more than likely, your little stevia packet is not just stevia. I'm looking in your direction, Truvia. Stevia in the raw, and sweet leaf. Sweet leaf? I sure don't know about them. I seem to remember them for some reason. Okay, but Truvia, it's like Pepsi, I think. It's in the raw, it's not in the raw. It's extracted, it's highly processed, and like Splenda, all of these, you too. Just look at the bleeding ingredients. Come on, it's not that hard. Just look. If you can't see it, use a magnifying glass. Or take a picture of your iPhone. Or not iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, you idiot, get an iPhone. But now I just made myself look bad, because now I'm an Apple nut. Oh, great. Now I'm an Apple fanatic. Yeah, someone's totally going to listen to me now. And I've made it very clear that an iPhone. Oh, I'll never live that down. No! Right, take a picture with whatever phone. As it turns out, the Windows phone, for all 8 of you who have one, has a, what was it, a Nokia Lumia, I think it was? One of those, I think it was Nokia Lumia, now I think about it. It has a 40 megapixel camera, so you take a picture of that, you zoom in, you are going to see some stuff. Okay. You want to see some stuff? You gonna see some stuff. That's gonna be more stuff than you want to see. You're gonna be seeing the grain of the paper. You're gonna be seeing the insects crawling on the paper. Probably not. Anyway, well, back to what I was talking about before I was so rudely interrupted by myself. If you will look at the ingredients, however you do, you will see that once again, dextrose, generally a processed corn sugar, is, alas, no good. No good. No good for you. And it's sweet. And considering that the extract of stevia which they use, pure stevia, they don't use pure stevia, they use an extract, as I said. They use an extract coupled with that, and while I could not find anything saying just how many calories those things have, and what the percent. Goodness, I'm doing the saving. Oh, the loading. Save it, not a load. I could never find the exact percentage posted anywhere. I think I can estimate it, considering that Splenda fact is 95%. Stevia, yeah, considering that stevia is 90... No. Considering that Splenda is 95% of dextrose or maltodextrin, only 5% actually sucralose, and the sucralose is approximately, averages to around 600 times sweeter than sucrose, and the extract of stevia that is used in stevia packets, the part that is basically artificially sweet, and while it is technical while it's true that stevia is natural, it's not naturally sweet because it's not a natural reaction. It was not supposed to happen. You're still fooling yourself. It qualifies in every sense of the word as being an artificial sweetener because it does not sweeten naturally. It is not a natural reaction. It's a very unnatural reaction, even if the plant that produces the chemical is natural. It's about just like you would not consider the burning sensation of capsaicin to be, as much as I love it, to be truly natural. It's a very unnatural burning sensation. It was not intended. It was not intended biologically to happen. It is very bad in some cases. If you ingest rosenoferatoxin 40 grams, you will die. That is not supposed to happen. That's a mistake. It's artificially burns. It's an artificially induced burning sensation. So, just like that stevia, even the extract, which is sweet, Even though natural though it may be, every part of the sweetening is unnatural and like an artificial sweetener. I guess artificial, but unnatural is probably not the right. Okay, it is artificial. Yeah, it's artificial. I guess to say. I guess to say that it's not natural is a little bit more of a jump than to say it's artificial. But yes, you can definitely say because of the various meanings of artificial. But artificial means that it's basically simulating artificially, not it's basically simulating a something else. And in that case, with capsaicin, you're simulating a burning sensation. With stevia, even the extract of stevia, you're simulating a sweet sensation, a reaction, a chemical reaction with the taste buds, which sends a signal to your brain of sweet. Particularly the taste buds on the tip of your tongue, on the sides. There are very few to none taste buds in the center of your mouth. Of your tongue, rather. Yeah. So, basically, it's the extract of stevia. We can calculate, considering that the stevia is considered to be around the sweetness of. Wait. I'm sorry, did I say that? I did say that aspartame was 100 times. It's actually 200 times the sweetness of sugar. My bad. I just now thought about it for another moment. It's actually about 200 times. Sorry about that. I hope that didn't cause anyone to die. If that did, I'm actually kind of curious as to how. That's if you just died of that. It's I don't know. Awesome. It's not awesome, but it's like the other word. What is it called? Anyway, the point is, stevia is the extract of stevia is approximately 150 times the sweetness of sucrose. So it is less than aspartame or saccharin or sucralose. And for that reason, in order to achieve and I'm looking this time specifically at you, but not only at you, stevia in the raw, just because stevia in the raw releases more data on the exact simulated sweetness. It is it's about the same as stevia. It's basically, as Splenda is what they said. Basically, you'd use about twice as much sugar, or half as much rather. Also, but a little bit less complicatedly, half the amount of the stevia in the raw as you would sugar. Just like with Splenda. Does that all make sense now? Are you understanding what I have said? This basically means that this basically makes things very easy for us. If the sweetness is comparable, then we know that it's not pure the extract of stevia that is sweet, or that it tastes sweet, that is artificially sweet. We know that it is not, that is not that's not all that is in here. We know there's something else. And of course, we'll only look at the ingredients. But now we know exactly how much of that other thing else there is. And it's simple, as I said. It's the same sweetness. So we calculate. And so knowing it's the same sweetness, we can calculate the sweetness, or how much, how just about how little of the stevia extract actually is. Yeah, let me just get to the calculation. Maybe it'll make more sense once I actually start calculating, so you can see what I'm doing, rather than what I'm saying I'm doing, because I may not be explaining it well. Stevia being 150 times and approximately 1/4 the sweetness of. I meant to say stevia extract, being approximately 1/4 the sweetness of the sucralose. It is then going to be, you're then going to be needing 4 times as much of the stevia extract to produce the same sweet sensation as you would get with Splenda. Does that make sense? I mean, it might be slightly different. You might need slightly less because there is a little bit of sweetness from the dextrose, not as much from maltodextrin, but and there might be different types of sugar, depending on which packet it is, which brand it is. Dextrose is most common because it's cheap processed corn sugar. Maltodextrin is an excellent bulking agent because it's so fluffed, and you can use a lot less of that, and also it tastes, well, I mean, it doesn't taste like anything, but really, but so anyway, you'd be using mostly dextrose, and so we'll say that has a little sweetness. So you may be using a little bit. You may be using a little bit less. Oh yeah, so you may be using a little bit more of the dextrose just because it's, yeah, you may not have to use as much of the stevia extract to get the same sweetness because there is some sweetness also of the sugar that's in there, which is where the sweet flavor is coming from. Stevia extract now on its own, I've heard, tastes absolutely terrible. It's so metallic, it tastes just like aspartame or saccharin. That's what I've heard. I don't know from personal experience, but I've heard it's awful. It's an awful metallic taste. Which kind of makes sense. I mean, it's working. It's the same sort of simulated artificial reaction. So, just because it's natural doesn't mean it's good or safe. I mean, just looking like opium. That's natural. Does that mean that's safe? Oh no, man! Don't you? That ain't safe. What about cannabinoids? No, sirree. My gosh, that is classified, at least in the United States, akin to heroin. I don't think you want that. I mean, unless you do, but in that case, you're illegal, and that's because that is bad for you. So, yeah, if you're thinking about doing that stuff, or opium, which is probably worse, then, yeah, we probably don't need to be talking about health, because that's obviously not your concern at all. But that, of course, is another issue entirely. I'm coming to this assuming you care about your health, or you're not being interested at all, or even if you're not interested about health, I just enjoy talking about this stuff because I happen to know quite a bit about it, or at least I'd like to think I know a lot about it. Of course, as it turns out, no one knows much about anything, because that is the fate of humanity, to be born ignorant, forever learning, and forever there being an truly infinite amount of knowledge, which we do not know. Okay, maybe it's not infinite, but there's a really big universe out there, and we can only even study like a very small amount of it. Until recently, we didn't even know. We had only accounted for like a few percent of the actual mass of the universe, because there's so much of it that's dark energy and dark matter. But of course, that's another topic for another day, and I may not even talk about that because that's way out of even my league. So far, I'll get there. But anyway, where was I? Oh yes, so let's just call it 40%. Let's just call it that. Rather than 95%, is this the right save? I forget what I did here. Rather than 95% dextrose or maltodextrin or basically non-sucralose stuff that you got in Splenda. Oh, I mean, well, of course, the Splenda is definitely maltodextrin and dextrose. There might be something else, but that's mostly it. So instead of just 95%, when you've got a packet of Stevia, quote Stevia, then that's only twice as sweet. And it only uses the extract, not full stevia. If you had to use full stevia, it'd totally throw things off because stevia extract is only one part of stevia. Then, yeah, it would be 80% other stuff, not the stevia extract. So you'd be actually getting 80% of what you would otherwise. So it's not as bad as Splenda, sure. But what you're eating is still mostly a sugar. You're still getting most of the calories. I could calculate how much that is, like 80% of that. But you know what? This episode really should be over already. So, thanks for watching. Basically, you've got the idea. Stevia is considered a zero-calorie sweetener for this exact same reason. Because regulations allow it. And what regulations allow, corporations are going to want. Because they're in the business of profit. Duh, that's literally their only purpose. I don't even mean that figuratively. I mean, literally, that is actually their only purpose. Seriously. It's to make money for the stockholders. That's its legal purpose. If it's not doing that, then it's actually in violation of the law. That is its only legal purpose. It legally has to do that. If that's not its only purpose, then it is actually not legal. So if you hear corporations say its number one priority is the environment, or blah. No! That can't be true. And if it is true, then they're actually breaking the law. But of course, it is okay for them to say they're doing that, because that's part of them getting more money out of you, because you're going to invest in a company, or you're going to like a company, not invest, but you're going to buy their products more, you're going to like them more. It's goodwill, because they care about what you care about. That's all it is. Anyway, that's gonna wrap this episode up. Stevia packets down there. Generally, that is. It's got a lot of calories in it. You sure you wanna eat that? You sure you can still be guilt-free knowing that you're still getting 80% of the calories you would have otherwise? Or I guess 40%, considering it's only half as that you'd be using twice as much sugar for the same sweetness. But then again, because you'd be guilty with sugar, you may not use as much with that, and so you actually might be using half the sugar because you're guilty about using the other half, and so with that guilt of the sugar, and you would actually be getting the same amount of calories from that as with stevia, and that's it. So. And plus, sugar tastes better because you don't get the macalication, so, maybe it's better anyway. In the next episode, I will discuss what I foreshadowed about stevia being artificial and its similarities to artificial sweeteners, and how it works and what it's doing and what you can tell about its simulated sweetening process, and why that is a bad thing. And how, as I've basically said earlier, you can gain weight even eating stevia. And more specifically, even eating pure stevia. This is a fuzzier territory, pure stevia. But it's a territory that I'm going to tread upon, lay some facts at you, and you can make your final determination. Okay? I mean, if you have more if you have more will, then you may be able to resist the addictive qualities of any kind of artificial sweetener. Okay? Okay, next time I'll talk about that. Goodbye for now, though. Thanks for watching, of course. Goodbye.